Guys played really hard on Saturday night. It's fun when they play with that kind of enthusiasm and they embrace the environment on the road. I'm amazed how well these guys play on the road, and it's exciting to watch them. It was fun. Defense forcing turnovers just took Oklahoma State out of the game. And I was really proud of the offense. They're coming on and getting better each week. And I thought the plays right before the half were so key. They moved the ball in the first half, but Oklahoma State took it the length of the field and scored. The offense took it right back down and had a drive like we've seen Colt do so many times right before the half, and then coming back and getting the field goal to start the second half just took them out of the ball game. Earl Thomas is a guy that is playing as well as any defensive back in the country. You've got to think that the Thorpe people are starting to look at him, and I do feel like the way Colt's playing the last 2 weeks that he, with a stretch here at the end, is right back in the middle of the Heisman race. People have asked about numbers. Colt being 3 wins away from being the winningest quarterback in college football history is really special, and that's something that we hope he gets without question. The other thing about this team right now is they're playing well in all 3 phases. Very few teams do that. We're number 1 in the country in scoring differential, meaning obviously the defense is holding people to very few points, and the offense is the leading offense scoring points in the country, and our kicking game continues to be really good. I was so pleased with Paris Cox last night and his kickoff returns that our defense, our kicking game, held him inside the 20-yard line 16 times. And that's really, really hard to do. Also, Hunter Lawrence is stepping up and continues to be so accurate. He's leading the Big 12 in scoring, and he's also the leading kicker in scoring in the nation. We came out pretty healthy on Saturday. Aaron Williams will be day-to-day. So we hope that he will be back by Saturday. The guys that will be out by Saturday continue to be Mason Walters and Calvin Howell. And we can't talk any more about their injuries until we see that they would be ready to play. Some people have asked about whether they might try to get a medical hardship for the year or not. Obviously, that's something you can't consider until they get well, so we have to keep looking at it. Things that we can improve, we felt like the only turnover we had was the turnover on the punt return, and it's good to be aggressive, but we got to be smart and not be too aggressive in that area. Kickoff return, we only had 1 for the night, but it got out to about the 30. We'd like to get back to getting back to the 40 and have a chance to score on another kickoff return here at the end of the year. Punt was inconsistent. We had some great ones, but we also gave up a 15-yard punt return, and we felt like the pass rush in the first half was not what we wanted. They came back the second half and started getting hits on the quarterback and forced the interceptions more the second half than in the first, because even one time on a 3rd down and 8, 3rd and 12, Zach Robinson was able to scramble, make a first down, and that's because we didn't have proper lane integrity with our defense, and we need to continue to strip balls. We haven't done that much lately. Sam Acho did it on Saturday, and we've got to continue to force fumbles, not just try to get the interceptions. On offense, we felt like that they are getting better, but again, we want consistent runs. The goal is 60%. We were 58%. They were 60% by the ones over 3 quarters in their success rate with their consistency. But when the Storm, the second bunch, went in, they didn't do as well. Seniors, 2 home games left. These guys have won 21 out of the last 22 games. We want our fans to come early, and if they want the number 1 team in the country, we want them to be the number 1 fans in the country on Saturday, because it's really important. We got an early start. It's still got a lot of national attention. It's a game that's really, really important to us, and we need to play well in the game. It's also Veterans Day, and we need to come and give honor to those that have worked so hard to help our country stay free. You look at Central Florida, all we have to do is look back to 2007. They kicked an onside kick late in the game. We win 35-32. Their seniors were on that team as sophomores a couple of years ago. So they'll be coming in here with a lot of confidence because they know they played us that well at that time. George O'Leary is a great football coach. He's a guy that they'll slow the game down. They'll try to run the ball. They'll try to hit some deep play-action passes. They'll do a good job in the kicking game. They're number 9 against the run on defense in the country, and they're number 8 in the country with 27 sacks. So they're a bunch that's stopping the run and putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and they've lost 3 games, but Miami was a tight game till the fourth quarter. Miami ended up beating them 27-7. Their other 2 losses were by 7 points and 5 points, and last night they looked like they were out of the game, and they came back and won, and that's really the way George does it. They'll play a 4-man front on defense. They will only blitz about 16% of the time. They're not a big risk-taking team, but they're a team that you better get ready to play. Questions?
Coach, you have seasons within the season. Is this the last stretch? Is this starting? Are you starting like a new mini season this week?
It is. We had basically the out-of-conference games. This would have been in that at the first of the year for the first 4 games of the season. Tech replaced Central Florida early. And then we came back with a stretch of Colorado, Oklahoma, Missouri, and at Oklahoma State this weekend. So 3 basic games on the road here. We want to come back and have a great start. The last 4 games are in the state of Texas, but we want to finish right. And this is the first game of the last stretch. And the guys have done everything they're supposed to do to this point. Now we got to finish.
Follow-up question. Have you ever been in this situation before? I think one time in North Carolina where you had a non-conference deep into your conference schedule.
Yeah, but not very much. It is unusual, and I'll talk to some guys around the country that have done it. I know Florida does it every year, it looks like. But again, I think you got to play. It doesn't matter. This is not about the Big 12 this week. It's not about the Big 12 South, but it is about national implications, and we're in the mix nationally, and if we want to stay there, you have to play good.
Coach, before the last 4-game stretch, you talked about making up for kind of what happened last year. Now you're through that 4-game stretch. You beat Oklahoma State. What's the theme for these last 4 games? What are you talking to the guys about in terms of finishing it?
Our theme now will be to play to the standard of the best team in the country. And that's who we want to be. We want to be the best in the country, and we can improve in so many areas, and we are good right now. But we can get better. And the other thing that we've challenged our guys is if you're going to be a great team that goes undefeated, you have to be a team that's excited to play every week. And that's hard to do. A lot of people can't do that. But that's part of the magic to having a great team. You have to be able to do that. You got to be able to get rid of Oklahoma State today, and you got to be able to get ready to start for Central Florida today. And if you can't do that, then you're not one of the best teams in the country. So that's our challenge to our fans and our coaches, to me, and to the players. Let's get rid of what we've done so far. Let's sincerely restart the season. Let's don't talk about it. Let's do it, and let's make this the most important game of the year, because it is.
Leading the team in scoring, Mac, usually think it's offense, but probably never a better example of a team leading the nation in scoring.
I think that's true, Roger. You look at we've scored 4 or 5 kicking game touchdowns. We've scored on defense, and we're getting much better on offense. So I do think that when you start looking at the team that's involved, this is the best time for us since I've been here, I think, with all 3 phases working together. And that's why offense had been a little behind. We want them to catch up, and I see that happening now. They were really good on 3rd downs the other day. They protected the ball. They didn't turn it over. Fewer penalties. Defense is playing at a real high level. Kicking game is playing at a high level. But we do want our kicking game to continue to get better as well.